people that are playing by themselves, but they give you a whole different flair. Like Giannis, he's playing by himself. But when he's playing in a very dominant way. He's not playing like I'm out here by myself. It's a mindset that I'm talking about. But, you know, we'll have Titletown Summer School. Feel free to join it, you know.
Titletown Summer School is mad funny. Titletown Summer
Hey, you're the teacher?
Hey, you know. I can't expect you to know if I ain't teach it to you, you know?
Yeah. Not only that, yo, Tyler Herro was 1 for 10 and 1 for 9. So that means he shot only 1 field goal that wasn't a 3. What are we doing? What are we doing? He's 1 for 10. He's supposed to be that nigga. So you told me I can't do it myself, but it don't look like you can do nothing at all. Nigga got 4 points in a closeout game.
But also remember, and I said this earlier, I forgot what we were talking about. We like Tyler Herro, but I didn't think he should be leading the team. That's why I was real mad about the original trade to begin with. So at this point, I'm calling it a rebuild because I didn't think that we should be in that position to begin with.
God.
But at the end of the day, we ride. We ride till dawn.
When niggas played in the playoff, playing and he was busting ass, she was like, yo.
Yeah, we going in a new direction.
Yeah,
all
niggas
that.
beat Atlanta and all that. He was looking good.
Yeah, hotness.
Yeah, all right, cool. I'm cool with that.
Nothing hotter than new hot.
At least I'm honest.
I'm cool.
Sometimes it dwindles away. And in this game, it definitely did.
Shit is a cup of coffee.
Yeah, Stat, we're not saying that he can't do it by himself. We're saying he need to do it for himself.
For sure. But we're not getting that either. That's what I'm saying. So at this point, I'm saying I want KD, but it's probably not going to happen. But if it does happen, y'all heard it here first. That's all I'm going to say.
KD for Tyler Herro?
No. KD in addition to Tyler Herro. That's why I said I don't know how they would make that work, but make some work. That'd be great.
That would just be Phoenix and Miami.
Debatable. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, why my nigga don't get no run? Where's he at on y'all team? Rozier.
I think he had an injury at some point and then came back, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not really been utilized. You're like, maybe that's a solution, right?
No, I'm not saying it's a solution. I just thought he was real good at one time.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely tough.
Yeah.
It's just, he's had some injuries and stuff throughout the season this year, so it's just been...
That's what I'm saying. Year to year, you could forget about niggas. Like, you could get lost. Right? Just 2 years ago, that was scary Terry.
Yeah. And before we close, gonna end with football real quick. So fans are saying that Cam Ward is the perfect quarterback because he is not a diva and he is not flashy. It says no flashy jewelry, no flashy suit, no flashy girlfriend hogging the attention, just a regular suit, thin chain, alma mater pin, and his parents by his side. Yeah, he's playing 20 years of pro football. Maze, how do you feel about that verbiage for the perfect QB?
Whoever wrote this is a hater. Who wrote this, Stat?
I don't know, it's a text post, but it sounds like...
It is definitely pointed in the direction of Colorado. Why is niggas hating on you, Dion, so much, man? It's too much hate for one man, but I understand, you know. The man got his toes clipped off, still came to work, gave inspirational posts, brought 2 black kids out of not even just 2, but 2 black kids to an elite status where they could have won the Heisman, both of them, got both of his sons in the NFL, countless number of kids made millionaires, and all you can think about is the chain a nigga wearing and how flashy he is. They even threw a shot at Travis Hunter's girlfriend. It's like they were trying to remove the whole legacy of this Colorado move. But let me tell you something. Whenever you push your ball down, pause, the ball is going to bounce back up because there's life in it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to destroy the Sanders brand just because you're hating. Y'all got to get over this. Y'all didn't, like Killer said the other day, you didn't have this same energy for Archie and his family, and you're going too far with this. This is going way too far. It's cyber bullying, and what else they call that when somebody take your name and they use your name behind the scene? You know,
Defamation?
yeah, it's fraud. Fraud is what you're doing, nigga. It's really fraud. When you start using
Fraud is
people's
what you're
names
doing, nigga.
and putting it places it ain't supposed to be, and changing niggas' identities and all that. It's fraud. That's what you're doing. We might have to look into this, because everything, even the kid calling on the phone, that's fraud. That's fraud. It's called impersonating. And when you're impersonating another company, that's fraud. I ain't trying to get you locked up, but they do it to us as black people all the time. What did you think about that, Killer? That call was fraud.
Yeah. Listen, I like the whole take. I don't even have really much to add.
Yeah.
That was a really good perspective of exactly how I think that things are going down. What I will say is this, to add on to what Mace said, because I don't have nothing to say. Mace laid it out quite flat. What I will say is this, is that from that statement that Stat read, that y'all think y'all got the new house nigga. And I'm telling you now, Cam Ward is not the new house nigga. Go ahead and find out sooner than later, sooner than later. But if you think you got you a house nigga, you're gonna find out way sooner than later. You seen the nigga wilding on ESPN talking about, yeah, nigga, we killed him. You see him by his whole offensive lines, tennis chain. Yeah, if he gonna fuck up his bag, not at all. I don't think none of that's gonna happen. But you don't. What you don't got is Pee Wee Herman or Mr. Belvedere or none of them niggas. If that's what you think you got, if you think
Carlton from
yeah,
Fresh
Carlton
Prince.
from Fresh Prince, if that's what you think you got, if you think you got that, you're sadly mistaken. You'll find out sooner than later. Congrats though, Cam. I'm happy for you as well. And shout out to Coach Prime and everybody, not just his sons, but everybody from Colorado who got picked up even in the 6th round. After the draft was over, they ended up doing deals and getting signed afterwards as well. It seemed like once Shador got picked, they all had to call like, so it's cool to get the rest of them niggas. Oh yeah, we made them wait long enough. Because as soon as Shador get picked, 5-6 other niggas from Colorado get signed. Last but not least, what I'll say is this about that now that we're talking about it. Boomer Esiason, former quarterback, now turned analyst. He's been analyzing since probably he stopped playing 20, 30 years ago. He reported that the owners were telling the GMs to take Shador off the draft board. They don't want him on his draft board. That's what owners were telling his GMs. And I don't think that Boomer Esiason would just make up no shit like that.
I don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't like it, and I hate that they can't say anything, because if they could, it would be a very cam-coded response. Like, I make more money than you, I got better jewelry than you, I got more girls than you, you wish you looked like me. That whole type of thing I wish they could say, and I know they can't. But just perform well on the field. Best of luck to all y'all boys that got drafted.
And what I will say,
rooting for you for sure.
Soon as one of these GMs get fired, they gonna say what really happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as one of them get fired, the truth gonna come up.
For sure.
I really hope Shador's in the weight room and the film room and have an amazing year. I mean, do everything in your power, because you know what they're trying to do. We know what they're trying to do. But you got to overcome it. You definitely don't have to overcome it, because they even put him in a situation where so many quarterbacks where he's going to have to overperform to even look like he did something, because you got 20% reps. If it's 5 over quarterbacks, you only got that short amount of time to show what you could do. So he's going to have to be overprepared.
They said he's trying out for 3rd string. Like, they saying there's no way he's even going to start on that team, that he's actually trying out for 3rd string. But who knows if Deshaun Watson will be healthy. We don't know what's going to happen with Joe Flacco, the nigga they just picked. And another thing that they potentially saying is that they're using them for leverage for a team that may need a quarterback closer to the time to start, saying if somebody's quarterbacks get hurt, or if somebody's quarterback's underperforming, then you may think that you need a quarterback. Cleveland also may be using them as leverage to get more assets as they get closer to the season.
I truly believe they're setting him up to be great. If he keeps his mind set straight, it's setting you up to be great. Whenever like I said, whenever people stack something against a person, that's always the person that rises to the occasion. It's never the person that everybody goes. It's always the person that people like, I don't like that name. That's the one.
Sure. Prime time isn't over. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. But that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant helps me build trust with clients. With AI Assistant, I can find contract details quickly. Having all of this together helps position myself as an expert, and it gives me that confidence to talk to clients.
When I started Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I had no idea what I was doing. But GoDaddy Herro does, using AI to build a logo, website, and social content.
All right, we're here. It's Monday. So it is day last Monday of the month, which is it's happening pretty fast. Hopefully everybody had an enjoyable weekend, a rest-filled weekend. Shout out to everybody who celebrated their birthday this weekend. Shout out to everybody that had a birthday this week. It's now towards season. Shout out to Milan, friend of the show. Friend of the fam. Her birthday was this weekend. So I think she was 35. So shout out to her. Amazing entrepreneurs that we know. Definitely killing it in the game. And yeah, man, we're happy. May's here. May's here. So graduation is upon us. Summer's right around the corner, man. It's right here.
Well, I know y'all with Jerome Powell. What do you tell us? We get a cut, quantitative ease, and what we doing?
Never know.
Never know.
You never know.
You never know. We're here for all circumstances.
That's a fact.
Oh man, all right. So it's a lot. It's a lot to talk about. A lot going on in the market.
Big week.
A lot going on in the world.
That's a fact.
That's also true.
So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. Blackout. Tune in this Wednesday. Gonna be a very spicy episode. For sure. So
I got a topic. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I got a topic.
Blackout.
Okay.
I got a topic. I'm not going. I want to hear y'all go through this topic though. Yeah, because I saw it somewhere. I'm like, yo, this is pretty interesting. How do you play this for a man and woman? Like, how do you? It's one of these scenarios that I need to know the answer to it because I'm not sure.
We're getting messy right now.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about the Shador Sanders thing. So
Yeah, we got some breakfast to make too.
huh?
We got some breakfast to make too.
You know what I mean? They say the name in vain, man. Pray for them. You just pray for them, man.
So yeah, check out Blackout this week, 10 o'clock. And yeah, we got some other stuff. We'll make it later on in the show. I don't know if people want to get the show started.
Okay.
Ian, any special announcements on your behalf?
Yep, if you want to get rich in the market, go to energize.com. But my name is Michael Gordon, to the host here this week. For 7th episode. Stock call on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central before Blackout Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central. If I make some money, please put that in chat. One of y'all got a can. Kudos. Tell your own policy.
Yes, in chat.
Undisclosed.
Get right to the content.
Undisclosed addiction.
Yeah, we're being held against our will, as you can tell.
That's my move. I'm sorry. Booked the wrong flight.
Luckily, the studio travels. So
Yes. So bring the work with you. I'm
allegedly. No, what are you doing?
For me, what you mean?
You said bring the work with, like, come on, man.
That's a lot of touch.
I'm like that, Ian. All right, our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment decision based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. Y'all know how this works. Continue to do the research, share the research. when that research pays off, give credit to where you heard it from, spread love, spread knowledge, spread information. Let's make money, let's change lives, let's change communities. Let's do it again.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So, few things we got to talk about. But first, we're going to start off. It was earnings week last week.
Yep.
So, a few interesting things happened during earnings. But one of the biggest ones was that Tesla reported. And Tesla reported, and when they reported a net profit loss of 71%.
Mm-hmm.
70.
No day at the office.
Tesla reported a sharp 71% drop in net income for the first quarter of 2025, earning $490 million compared to the same period last year.
Yep.
The decline was driven by falling vehicle deliveries, which were down 13%, and a 20% reduction in automotive revenue.
There's another interesting stat that was in there. There's regulatory credits, meaning like when you buy an EV and you get credit, like I said, that actually was more than the operating profit margin of the quarter. Think about that.
Literally liability over asset.
So it's a few interesting things at play here, right? Because we talked about that on Monday as far as Tesla. I was saying that, I think it's a misnomer to say that Tesla's a tech company, it's a car company, and cars is their main source of income, and that's not been going well, and everybody knows about Elon, and so it was a lot of negative situations.
Yeah.
After a 71% drop, the stock actually went up.
Which is interesting, right? When that conversation last week, we said, and I remember saying this, right? They've had terrible lead-ups into their earnings report, and after their earnings report, somehow they always seem to have the stock price go up. It was like, what's the next trick? What's the next trick? And boom, here comes the next trick.
Well, he got on that conference call and did that. Maybe I would do better play.
Well, that's the thing. So people was wondering, they're like, okay, everything is going down though for Tesla as far as numbers are concerned, public perception and everything. Why is Tesla stock going up? And it went up, I think, like 2 days in a row after the report.
It's up 20% over the past 5 days.
So the thing about it is that it's mainly up because he said that he was going to spend less time at Doge and focus more of his attention back on Tesla. And based off of that, a vote of confidence was given by the market that they were happy that he would refocus his energy on Tesla and make this thing work. So I'll let everybody get their perspective, but for me personally, like I said, I don't think it's going to work because Tesla is already having serious problems in China, in America, in Europe. We've talked about all this stuff. And just because Elon says, okay, now I'm going to focus again, that's like, being in a marriage and then just checking out for 2 years. Like that, okay, now I'm going to be the husband that you want to be. Like 2 years have already passed.
Financial gaslighting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a better man.
But I'll tell you what, it does speak to some level of privilege because some people are afforded the opportunity to fail and there's no consequences for it.
Yep.
Like the whole thing of like DEI hire is because saying that people's not competent to do what they want to do, to do the job. So it's like, it's pretty amazing when you can literally just take 8 months off at a time, ruin a company, and then come back like, my bad, I wasn't focused. You're rewarded for your negligence. So it's a lot of interesting dynamics. But what's your take?
I'll pick up from where you left off. Remember last year, 2 years ago, I was saying there was a mistake to discount price of the cars, and he wasn't focused, and he'll probably go to charity because he sees that Starlink is the brightest star in the drafts. We'll talk Wednesday about draft misselection. But I do think a focused Elon is a dangerous Elon, but I think it's been a long time since he's been focused on this car company. I know at the family reunion, and after school, you always tell your kids you love them equally. But the truth is, when you build one of your companies, you have to pay. And Tesla for a long time has not been that for him. We look at the company, I know a couple of people push that about it being a tech company that had technology in it that was almost antiquated. That everybody got the big iPad. So do I like the light system? Yes. But gross margin, 17%, net margin, 6.72%. And when you got reclassified, at this point, when you go from luxury car to now it's a select car and Uber, that is not great from a classification standpoint. And then when your CEO leaves for 8 months at a time or 9 months at a time to run a failed effort, and it also made his popularity rating go down to the lowest that have been in 15 years. Do I think there's some asymmetric risk here? Yep. If we get the 104.03, I would like to pick up some more shares there. But I think Tesla has lost its lead and advantage by not being focusing on the things that matter to their consumer.
Yeah, I think Elon is interesting, right? I'm glad you brought up the word privilege because had this been another CEO with music like this on a complete miss, to have that level of confidence put into a stock is ridiculous based on the CEO. But we've seen it before, whether it was him in 2021 when it was the remnants of, hey, he's focusing on SpaceX and now his attention is there and he's kind of forgot about Tesla. Or whether it was Starlink in 23 and his attention was there and that's going to be the thing that gets him out of this, but he forgot about the main thing. And in fact, we even had to debate about, when the main thing is the main thing, you got to make sure you treat it like the main thing. Those other things will get you to a different place. I'm sure Starlink will be one of those innovations that revolutionizes technology from a connectivity standpoint.
For sure.
But the main thing right now is the EV company / with tech components, which is another part of the confidence that a lot of the stockholders and the shareholders saw. And so now him saying, I'm going to refocus, I'm going to get back to it, the confidence is there. The other part is the delete, right? So when you look inside of the call, what do you talk about? Autonomous driving. That's still on schedule. Before it was going to be delayed, now it's still scheduled for June. The robo-taxi, same thing. What he didn't mention was what they're going to do with the Cybertruck, which hasn't really worked out the way they thought it would, and what is going to happen with the Model Y. They were supposed to put out a new one, then they got for it. It's not selling the same way. So what do you do inside of that? Because that's your bread and butter, right? That Model Y is the #1 seller. You just talked about 13% decline in sales year to date. That's supposed to last year. So what is the Model Y? What's going to change it? What type of innovations are going to happen inside that? Are you going to be able to customize it? I know those are some of the things that people who are, big Tesla drivers are some of the things that they're looking forward to or want inside of the vehicle. So what happens there, right? But the thing is, the main thing is still the main thing. Yes, you're going to refocus, but we've seen this happen before. 21, look at the stock. Look at 23, look at the stock. Look at 25. I'm going to refocus. I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to be a better man.
Yeah.
And believe in it. And so this is what we see. 20% in 5 days is crazy to have the type of miss that they have. It doesn't really add up. It doesn't make sense. So when people ask you, make sense of it?
I mean, there is a difference when Michael is on the court versus DJ Armstrong, though. We can't, it's not DJ on the snow. But if he's in office in headquarters with a sound mind, he is still one of the richest men of all time, one of the greatest entrepreneurs. I can name you 20 car companies that are comparable and better. We cannot forget or be remiss if we did. ChatGPT shared right from under his palms. There's some major missteps here. And if you just go to the list of reasons, prayers for Elijah Arenas, let one of these kids die in that truck. It's going to be over with. The great part about having bulletproof glass and all that is you misstepped on the stage the first time, is that it's bulletproof. The bad part is if there's an accident, it's really hard to get people out of here. A lot of design flaws in there. So you keep, and it's the thing that I think we're seeing a lot of people are taking the main thing and jumping off the vehicle that's going to take you to glory. And then you get that 5 notice, and then you don't, so Elon's the richest man that is publicly reported on the planet, he will be fine. But the fact that they do not have a bigger lead, at least in my criticism of Apple, they had a 30 or 40-year run. Since 2019, really, and a lot of that has to do with Kathy and the Bitcoin community supporting him and early internet that was supporting. There were too many missteps.
Yeah, there was a time when there was a correlation or a perceived correlation between the price action of Tesla and Bitcoin. Elon was a big supporter and invested in Bitcoin. You said you think there's 20 car companies better? 20?
I mean, we can go through everything. Who owns, I mean, we got Ferrari, brand new, we got the who touches not. If you took that logo off and put on a Volkswagen logo on it, nobody wanted that. It's terrible right now.
All right, we're gonna come back with a list next week.
So as far as the stock, is this something that people should be bullish on? Or is it something that you said that you think is going in 100, so obviously you're not bullish on it. So
that's the price ideally I would want to buy. So my thing as an investor is great lesson to that. Number one, where can I buy these stocks? No choice but for network. If it goes to 104, even with a little backup salute, no price. I can see it getting back to 280 if it falls that far. And maybe 6 or 7 months, because he's that focused. And also, two concerns. If we see that he's not there frequently, who in management sees he's not frequently there and is trying to play the takeover? Number two, how focused is the management against he's been going? But anybody who works in corporate, you know if the leader is away, things are going to go a little bit awry, and then the president is going to consistent for a while. So, am I bullish on it? Yes. But let's be honest, this autonomous thing that he wants to pull off, you're not a heavyweight mall and nowhere near close. Uber has a better chance of just licensing vehicles from another EV company because they already have the network infrastructure.
Yeah, way more streets. They on the streets. But that 104 number is interesting because we're talking maybe the floor here, but there is that psychological number. I've been reading some supports. I know Barron's was talking about, Seeking Alpha was talking about it, that 300 number, right? And the reason they're saying this, right, there's that first resistance probably around 294, but for that 300 mark is like, if it hits 300, if it can stay over there intraday and close there, then we might see it tick up to maybe 315, 320, and then who knows where we can go from there. So those are just those, sometimes the psychological number, like we talked about it with Bitcoin, when it gets to 70,000, when it gets to 100,000, so just that psychological barrier, all right, this is something I need to invest in. So keep your eye out for those numbers as well. If it hits that 300 to 305 and it can close there and stay there, it'd be interesting to see where or how much appreciation happens after that.
Yeah, also too, we have to be mindful, Tesla's fan base isn't as strong as most cryptocurrencies. The thing that's hurt him, you can't leave your main thing, then go to your side, and then your side thing, want to come back home. Let's be honest, the Doge thing is not working.
You sure?
Allegedly. There's been a few kerfuffles inside the office. And for all you MAGA supporters who think I'm just kicking this back in, I'm getting information from inside. Y'all love so much, y'all never been.
So you're not bullish on Tesla stock?
If it goes to, let me give a figure. If it goes to 151, I'm elated to buy. Any other price above that is too high. And it's been in stock for 5 years. I personally haven't executive portfolio to 2019. The company has just been mismanaged like crazy. And we told you from the very beginning, give it 90, 180 days and I'll be fighting cats and dogs.
We're 100 days in, man. We're 100 days in.
Lowest approval rate
in the history.
80 years.
We're winning so much. I'm tired of winning.
So much winning.
All right.
Shout out to Saquon. Is he on the list?
Saquon Barkley
is he on the list? No, for Wednesday. I'm asking.
For Wednesday what?
For Blackout.
Saquon, yeah, you got to go about.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about it. I know we wouldn't.
Yeah, Herro said he's not going. Yeah, I'm still.
Come on.
Okay, so.
Not the private luncheon before the
the private lunch and
I mean, it's not surprising.
Really?
Two nigga
Omar!
Two-nigga Wednesday.
Omar Johnson, call my phone.
Please.
Immediately.
The main number. Phone. We need an emergency meeting.
For sure. Tuesday, please call.
Please. Okay. All right. One quick announcement. New Haven, Connecticut. We will be there this Saturday for the last book tour. You Deserve to Be Rich. We was in Detroit last week and had a great time. Shout out to Detroit. New Haven, Connecticut. This Saturday, you can go to youdeservetoberichbook.com to get your tickets. Connecticut, we will see you guys this Saturday. We're bringing some surprises. You know, it's a whole vibe. Our book tour. You get a signed book. We talk. We do a fireside chat. We bring guests out. And it's like $30. So for $30, you get the book, you get the information, signed, autographs, the whole thing.
Yeah, Detroit, we have some prize giveaways. Connecticut, we're gonna continue that. We got some surprises for y'all, so make sure y'all.
And there's just some information that had to occur too. Like, when we did one of Houston, we dropped some info, and then it happened. You get to be in the room with some people that are actually moving and shaking and doing things like you can't meet everybody online. Gotta go in person.
Twisted tea is a refreshing hard iced tea made with real brewed tea. Keep it twisted.
That's a fact. So youdeservetoberichbook.com. New Haven will be there Saturday. Okay. To the brother on YouTube, let's talk about this. Now, the brother looked like he might have just got out of some substance abuse issues, so I am sensitive to substance abuse problems. But what we're not going to do is rewrite history. So it's important to educate the audience because in a day and age where clicks and likes means more to somebody than the love of their own children, we have to be careful with how we're acting, right? Because you can report misinformation and that just becomes a fact if it's said enough. So to say that Earn Your Leisure has discouraged Black people from buying a home is a pretty amazing statement, considering 39 videos on YouTube dating back since 6 years ago, actually teaching people how to buy a home. And we actually have the Home Buyer's Blueprint, Volume 1, Volume 2, inside of EYL University. And there's a guy named MG, the mortgage guy, who appeared on Earn Your Leisure Market Mondays more than any other guest in the history of Earn Your Leisure, and he's actually a mortgage broker. Yeah. So Kiana Watson, a real estate agent, who covered Airbnb. Okay.
Since 2018.
They only going to kill you by you only get attacked by people who have similarities to you. That's how they traditionally done it throughout history. Look at Caesar and Brutus. Look at Jesus and Judas. You go through this is a historical thing, right? And for Black people, the problem has always come internally, right? So it's like, for you to say that we discouraged, and it's such an ignorant way to say it because you said it so passionately that it's almost believable if you sound smart to a dumb person. Because, like I said, we actually have 6 years of educating people on how to buy homes. It's like they tell you not to buy homes while BlackRock is buying up all the homes. So are they?
I would have fucking first told y'all about that. Give me a position to be able to spend that kind of money, and no, maybe for me, I could have done something different. Also, too, when you're living real life, when you change people's lives, people are going to put a tax on you for you doing well.
That's a fact.
You keep confusing podcasting with the talking business. We are in the tech and investing business. Y'all keep copying my guy Joe's model. Joe is in the monthly recurring revenue model business. There's too many y'all hiding about nothing. And you from what you talk about you.
That's a fact. Like I said, everybody wants to make content, but this ain't about content. So let me just educate the brother, because like I said, I don't think he fully understands how things work. I was actually a financial advisor 12 years before I had it. Like, some people think I might have just started talking about finances on the internet. I actually did this for a living for 12 years. And what I did for 12 years was help people get their finances together. And I learned something that was very valuable at that point in time. That there's a lot of people that are making decisions to buy homes that they cannot afford.
For sure.
And it's putting them in financial debt, and it's hurting them because they're cashing out their 401ks, they're cashing out their savings accounts, they're putting furniture on credit cards, so they're buying a home because they think that they're doing something that's great financially, right? And they don't realize that they're actually putting themselves in debt, and now they don't have money to invest, they don't have money to start a business, they're buying a $700,000 home. By the time they pay it off, they're paying $1.8 million for it, for property tax, all things included. They're not fully educated on it. So what we did, one of the first things that we did, we pioneered the 4-3-2-1 strategy, Energy the Mortgage Guide. That's us. That's called house hacking, right? That's something that we pioneered as far as teaching people how to be homeowners and landlords at the same time. Owning where you live in a multi-family apartment, complex, building, whatever you want to call it, and then renting out other units while you have positive cash flow and still being a homeowner. That's not discouraging people from being a homeowner. That's educating people. What we did was actually pull the curtains back about the real cost of real estate to show people how much closing costs actually cost, how much you have to actually have for the electric, for the lights, for the furniture, these are things that if you have never owned a home before, you don't know. You think you're just buying a home and that's it, and then it's like, damn, I gotta pay $50,000 extra. Well, that could be life-changing, right? That's not discouraging people from buying a home. That's educating them to buy the right home that they can afford. Also, the BlackRock comparison is very uneducated comparison because BlackRock is buying homes to be landlords. They're not buying homes to live in. So you're saying that we're discouraging people from buying homes while BlackRock is buying them. That's an apples to oranges comparison. If you're buying a home, you're paying money out. You're paying money to the bank. You're paying money to the heat, electric. You're paying money to your town for taxes. BlackRock is buying a home. They're renting it out, and you're paying them more. You're paying so that being a landlord and living in a property that you're actually living in is not the same thing.
Two different things.
It's not the same thing at all. So when you're fully educated on real estate, because we know people like Don Peoples, like who's a billionaire, who when we asked him at Square Garden, what is he encouraged about real estate? He said, you guys. He said, you are the encouragement because you're teaching people things that I've known for 30 years and I couldn't communicate it. Like, you're the right spot for real estate. This is a billionaire. What have you done?
So who you helped?
It's easy. We live in a society where it's easy to criticize people. But we really got to be careful because you're criticizing the most helpful people for the society. Like, we have educated more black people in a short period of time on
most colleges,
real estate, credit, entrepreneurship, stocks than has ever happened. So you're like you said, for you it's a pod, you're just potting, and you're trying to get $1,000 on Google. But just think about like the danger that you're actually doing, right? Because you're talking to people, they might not even have never watched us before. You're providing a lie that's not even factually backed by anything, with misinformation throughout it, with an uneducated thesis, and you're just running with it. Like Early Allegiance is getting paid by BlackRock. That's what happens to black people. That's what happens to black people all the time. Oh, he took money, he did that. What you do is you discredit the leader, and you cause chaos, and that has happened systematically. We can talk about the Black Panthers. We can go down the list, right? And you're an agent of chaos, and you have no solution, and you have no reason. It's not like you're
trying to get your audience up.
A top. You're not gonna become famous. You want to have just a viral moment. So to the brother, I don't know who he is, but like I said, it looked like he might have had some substance abuse problems. So if he did, I am sympathetic for that. But what I would say is that you have to be educated before you speak, because you're just talking about things that you don't even know. But there's going to be consequences for the things that you say.
He wanted to take a diplomatic approach, so I'm glad he went that route. I'll save my vote.
You listening, Jay? Oh man.
I'll help us. I'm gonna be real. I start talking to investors and shit. There's a lot of people who look like us who won't be in it. And the crazy part, like you said, that's the crazy part. A lot of y'all be shooting at people who are gonna be the only lifeline when you stranded in the ocean out there.
Yeah. You know what, man? It would be worth. That was a great dialogue right there.
It was. Education was too.
But when I saw it, I was like, "There's nothing to really comment on," because that takes you away from the mission that you've been put on this earth for, and that's to help people. So like every day, somebody tells us about how something impacted their lives. Even here this weekend, plenty of people like, "Yo, man, y'all changed the things up. Not just me, but for my family." The impact speaks longer than any rhetoric will. You know what I'm saying? Like we won't be able to write our legacies, but the impact and the work that we've done and that we continue to do and gonna continue to do, we'll do that. And so, shout out to whatever he got going on, and hopefully he can figure that out. But yeah, I mean, just to not do research tells me how far you've come in the world of journalism. Right? If you're gonna report something, at least have the facts. And there's, I mean, he bumped a bunch of it, but it's like, if you're going to do it right and be accurate about it and stand on it. And so, keep going, whatever you got going on, you and whoever's behind the camera who was commenting and agreeing with you, shout out to y'all. But that's not stopping nothing over here, man.
Oh, and you both those in the comments. I'm taking screenshots. I'm the type of dude that's a psychopath.
Facts. Now go look it up, and Troy, you can pan out. If you let me.
There's a dude right now to this day that has never been on the show, that once been on the show, that did one sucker thing in a comment on YouTube 5 years ago, and I saw when he did it, and
You did.
He said you want to squash, you gotta pay him. You'll never get on. So think twice before you bozos in the comments make a comment, because I'm looking and I'm researching who you know, and you will never succeed. I'm gonna make sure it's a personal.
Yeah, and you know what? And I think it kind of got misconstrued, because when we were talking about your own personal experience in Bible, that's completely different than us educating. But even in this personal experience,
Even in that
educational, like, moment. Oh, here's what's actually happening in real time. Here's what you can learn from this. It's like, we say this all the time, like, yo, we're gonna go through some things so that you don't have to.
Is that like, I could have just been a regular social media guru and said everything is perfect. I'm actually being transparent with you about that I'm actually having in real life, thinking that me showing you the issue that I'm going through could actually help you. And then you're going to twist it. That's why people don't want to do nothing for nobody.
facts. Especially when you already got on the phone.
Also true.
It's easy to check that account every one of them ads just checks come out. 17th job you died.
You put the assets?
Yeah.
23rd of the month?
Like, y'all give me first, I'm gonna go there and Google. What? That's how I know, like, whenever I kept telling y'all, everybody that y'all thought was lit and potted is broke over, and for the record, that's 50%. Every little limits that y'all said, y'all want to shout out to fucking Skyline for those who got shot.
I wouldn't know.
If I made you money, please put us in check.
I wouldn't know.
Me. And I like the show, but
It's all good with conscious, man. We always.
there's no 120 for this kind of sheet you got.
And then for the people that's like, yo, have him on the show. No, I'm not having you.
No.
You haven't done anything to actually be verified.
If you enemy the op, I'm not helping you know.
You don't get rewarded for just
No.
saying speaking on YouTube. I don't even know you. Like, you're not, no, I'm not having you on the show. Like, you just had a billionaire on the show. What are you talking about?
And shout out, and if we're gonna talk about the bozos in the comments, shout out to the people who are also in the comments. Like, yo, you got this completely
Shout out
wrong.
to them,
It was like, and I know Ian, I seen you had commented in there as well. But like, yeah, a lot of people just like, yo, I don't think y'all got this correct. Like, you might want to retract this. It doesn't even make sense what they actually do. So, shout out to y'all.
I get me and Rashad, I like it. I get it. But we already got you like it. I was just saying, what happened? I'm actually paying you now compared to doing I used to do. Like we shot there, yo, go get your coins. But y'all not gonna do it by trying to be smart on it. I would call their thing. But I would get on the phone, we call, I'm gonna do the connection, and woo, y'all will never see them again. They sold out to Illuminati. See you at the mountaintop.
Well, or we can just call our friends at Black Rock.
Hello. And Google.
to BlackRock.
Violating the terms and service agreements. Be careful, my boy. What about that?
What community will be buying that?
All you guys, it's time to get you bigger than that. You gotta address all your needs, guys.
That's a fact. Enemy combatant. That's a fact. Enemy of the state. Treason. You're actually guilty of committing treason. Okay. I digress.
Yes, I don't know. We're gonna do this, but glad we got to do that.
I thought he was gonna say it, but it's
I did too.
yeah.
We both need therapy, Sean. That's what it is.
Okay.
And too many of y'all be jumping up the yacht before we get to what we need to sail to. Then you cry about my sorry. Nah, it's been a good run. In all areas. Enjoy.
Life jacket.
Okay. Back to our regular schedule program.
Yes.
So, if you want to create a 2 index version
Let's get into this.
centered around healthcare,
Let's get into this.
what tool would you recommend for this combination?
I think this is a great question, but one thing I do want to stress is I want you guys to stay focused on what you have in the portfolio at the moment, because I think too many people once again take their eyes off the main thing. I would do the DTI, do a lot of the legal stuff. As I've talked about before. I know it's not fun, and this is where men, kind of belabor the point on the other show. I think too often times as men, we look for the new exciting thing opposed to the thing that's working. There's a reason we don't have trading Thursdays. Market Mondays is working. Too many people like trying to put too much diversity in their portfolio, and you end up selling the thing that's great or something that's good, but just kept pouring money into the thing that's working, would be A-okay. So, great question. If you have currently been investing in two index will change, but if I was focusing on a healthcare version, I would do Striker and Lilly and Hold forever.
Striker, Lilly, and Hold. Interesting. I chose specific ETFs in healthcare, and so I went with Vanguard as well. They're VHT and Spider. You know, we always talk about XLK and talk about XLY. Their one is XLV, and I told people in our class, especially if you're not familiar with sectors, right? ETFs and indexes are probably the best way. But inside of those ETFs, you should go look at the holdings and go look at the largest allocations inside those ETFs. And for XLV, you're gonna, and I mean for VHT as well. Lilly is usually number one, right? And then number two is United Health. And so we watched United Health take a backing, obviously with healthcare prices skyrocketing and really no rhyme or reason for it. And so I said, I knew you would probably go traditional with Striker. I know that's one of your favorite companies. And I think we were both, Lilly. And so I threw two wild cards in terms of the healthcare space. And one, we're probably not going to think healthcare, but nah. So CVS is a company that I've spoken about plenty of times. And they kind of have this like soul survivor syndrome that is interesting. When we think about growing up in the past maybe 5 to 10 years, there was a Rite Aid. That's what. There used to be a Walgreens in your neighborhood. Good luck if you can find it. And CVS is still here. 9,000 locations, and they have vertical integration, which is very unique in a sense that they have insurance. They bought Aetna, so they have the insurance, right? They have prescription delivery, and they have direct patient care.
Yeah.
We have all those things in one, whereas United Healthcare doesn't quite have it. They're the largest provider of health insurance, but they don't have all three verticals. To find out each one of those verticals from different places, then my wild card came in. And I said, well, who can disrupt them from the retail space? And who can also disrupt them from the primary care space? And then I came to this company called Amazon. And I thought, damn, 9,000 locations is great until you can have same-day delivery straight to your house. Now you got $1 billion